PowerPlayChess, brought to you in association with Kagi. Black to play and win. This is from the game between Guillermo Estevez and Ulf Andersson, the legendary Swedish Grandmaster Ulf Andersson. Played in the Capablanca Memorial Tournament in 1977. Ulf Andersson, well, he's a hero of mine. What a fantastic player. And he turns 73 or turned 73 on the 27th of June 2024. You might be watching this on the 27th of June, so raise a glass to Ulf, 73 today. But anyway, yeah, I think he's a wonderful player. He has played some beautiful strategic games. He was a great exponent of the hedgehog system with black. And well, often, you know, his greatest games show him just grinding out these sort of long end games or accruing positional advantages. However, with black, he often played the Sicilian, and he could play some really sharp games. You know, he liked this kind of elastic hedgehog formation, and this game is a really good example of that. So black to play and win here. I'm actually going to show you the whole game, as I'm such a fan of Ulf. So e4, c5, and e6. So an open Sicilian, and Andersson plays the Khan system. So that's a very flexible way of playing, and that's very typical of how he liked to play. And after bishop d3, well, he then fianchettoed the king's bishop. That can be a little bit dubious if you've played e6 and g6 together, but with the bishop on d3, that means there's not going to be so much pressure on the d file. So bishop g7, d6, queen d2. White is setting up very aggressively and exchanges off that potentially dangerous dark squared bishop and goes queenside. So we've got a really sharp game on our hands. b5. Now, big dilemma. How do you meet this advance on the queenside? Do you just ignore the pawn and carry on with your attack? Well, that's what white did. You could play a3 here just to slow things up. The big problem with that move is that later on it might mean that black is able to open files. But, well, white played in a very principled way, just starting the attack on the king side. b4. Andersson pushes on. It's a kind of game of chicken. And here white played knight b1. Now, after that move, I start to think, well, black must be okay, because that knight is way out of play. I think for better or for worse, white should play knight a4 in this position. Because, you know, it kind of plugs the queen side, and you never know, it might flip into b6. But after knight b1, just fundamentally, that looks wrong. You just got to think black must be okay here. So an exchange on g7. Remember, this knight is attacked, so it came back to f3. And after this move, I think black can be very happy, because that really just blocks out white's kingside attack. You know, g4 is not coming soon, because f3, you need to really have the f3 move in. And in the meantime, black is able to develop the queenside and start hitting white's king. So f3, yeah, okay, it's a bit slow, that's the thing. So black is very well developed now, and can even look to perhaps break with d5. g4 played, but actually black is really secure with the knight on f6. Rook c8. Well, the rook opposite the king is really nasty, particularly with the knight on b1, because the king can't step to the side. Exchange on h5, but actually the knight is beautifully placed here, looking at some lovely squares. Rook g1. Yep, that lines up against the king, but black is solid here. Knight e5. Good move. The knight is floating in. Rook c6. f4, and here Andersson gets flashy. He doesn't bother moving the knight, but simply doubles on the c-file. And in this position, plays another flashy move, knight f4. Now clearly that can't be taken because rook c2 is mate. Look how boxed in the king is. And bishop d3. There were alternatives for both sides along the way, but anyway, I've just put the position in context. So it's black to play and win. How did Ulf finish the game? Very sweetly from this position. The move is knight takes bishop check, queen takes knight forced, and then queen e3 check. That's the killer move, and here white resigned. Well, if the knight blocks, then queen takes d3 wins the queen, and if the rook blocks, then you can nab the rook, come back again for more, and do this, and then take the queen, and well, obviously black is going to win that position with an overwhelming material advantage and white's king insecure. And of course, finally, after queen e3 check, if the queen is taken, rook takes c2 is checkmate. So that's why white resigned after queen e3. But yeah, a really smart game, and it just shows that Andersson actually was a master of tactics, but really a master of the Sicilian defence with black. If you want to see the whole game again, then do check out the link to chesspuzzle.net. I forgot to mention something. There's a couple more videos on the channel that I've recorded previously featuring wins by Ulf Andersson that you might like to check out. So first of all, Andersson against Grunfeld. Well, this was a positional masterpiece from Ulf where, well, I think you can see here, he's completely dominating on the light squares. Look at that wonderful bishop. But how he got to that position and how he executed the rest of his strategy is just brilliant. So there's that one. And then this next one is quite extraordinary. Just check out this position. How would you feel if you were playing black in this position? So this is the game Crivochet against Andersson, played in the German Bundesliga in 2004. So Andersson is under attack. He's playing one of his trademark games where he's playing behind the first three ranks. But he turns this game around absolutely brilliantly. It's a masterful defensive performance from Ulf. He's just not afraid of this kind of thing. And by the end, white's position is a complete wreck. It is absolute genius. So you'll find links to those videos right after I finish here. So do enjoy those.